Last episode, you guys watched me undertake a Can You Design an Apparel Range in 4 Hours challenge based on the word shout. And I set out to work at 8:30 a.m., starting with a mood board and ending with these 3 silhouettes by 10:20 a.m. In this episode, my deadline is at 12:30. I'm going to show you how I took the range from this to this. But the big question is, do I actually complete all this in 4 hours? Let's find out. So it is 10:20 a.m. I am done with my first 3 silhouettes, but they now need graphics. So let's quickly get to step number 3. I started by having a quick peek at my mood board so I know what I need to create. Now, have you guys heard of unsplash.com? It is such a cool site for fashion designers, man. If you are working on graphics for your clothes that are pretty photograph heavy, then this is the site for you. Unsplash has 3 images that you can use. Another similar website is Pexels. So write these 2 websites down, guys. They will come in handy. So on Unsplash, I initially started by typing in rebellion because I wanted some hardcore dark images that actually reflected the word shout. But then I chucked the idea completely and went searching for photos of actual Indian women. Because how often do you come across grungy streetwear graphics with an Indian like us on it? So I switched to looking for brides in beautiful lehengas, women working on handicrafts, or simply older women going about their business in a very candid fashion. I chanced on this picture and found it so beautiful. She looks like an ethereal goddess minding her own business. I'm gonna download it and open the picture in Illustrator and vectorize it because I want my graphic to have a sort of unclear, patched up type of look. So start by embedding the image first. Go to Image Trace, then click this icon, change the mode to grayscale, and under grays, I am reducing the colors to 25. Then expand the image. I am adding a black border behind. Now this is looking too grey for me, so I want a bit of pink added to this from my palette. So I'm gonna add a pink rectangle over this and change the transparency of it to multiply. This looks too bright, so let's reduce the opacity to about 70%. Next, I'm gonna mess around with this image, keeping in mind the graphic ideas on my mood board. I want to write the art of self-sufficiency above. So I am testing a few fonts that I have in mind, and I finally go with Timberwolf Condensed. Another idea I had was this off-limits signage idea. So that is what I am trying to draw here. Wait, why am I drawing it like that? Yeah, that is a better technique, Christina. Instead of the sign reading off limits, I want to say your scarcity mindset is off limits, in reference to the abundance mindset that I took inspiration from in part 1. Now here's the thing. I want this text to be a bit skewed from one end to the other for a more realistic look, like wider on the left and narrow to the right for a few and vice versa for the rest. For this, I am going to first draw a long rectangle over my line of text. Then go to Object, Envelop Distort, Make with Top Object. I'm then using my direct selection tool to just drag the shape of the text like this. I'm going to repeat this for a few more lines of text. Now, group each tape to its text because we're now going to add a drop shadow effect to each tape. For the drop shadow, go to Effect, Stylize, and Drop Shadow. Then play around with the settings. I prefer the opacity at 100%, the X offset at 2 to 3 millimeters, and the Y offset at 1 millimeter. Now I'm going to clip mask my signage artwork into a shape so that it stays within the boundaries of the photo behind it. And I wasn't satisfied with the tape's font, so I'm adding a stroke to it so that it looks like it's really shouting out the text. Next, I'm going to quickly draw a crown using my paintbrush tool. I'm adding a few more details. I'm drawing stars because I am focusing on femininity, and femininity is divine and ethereal, like the goddess vibe that I spoke of in part 1. As a final touch, I want to add some texture to this graphic to make it look more distressed or grungy. So I'm gonna check Unsplash again to see if I can find a very texturized photo. So far, the photos I found are not working, but this one might. I am image tracing it into 3 colors and expanding it. I'm then removing the background color and changing the remaining 2 colors to the same black to see if it will work. It's a bit too much, so I am removing parts of it with my lasso tool. A little bit more manipulation and it is set. Let's put it on the garment and see what it looks like. And that is exactly what I wanted. Graphic number 1 is ready at 11:06 AM. So let's quickly move to graphic number 2. For my second graphic, I'm gonna try and find a much older woman, something that is more culturally appropriate to India. And this image turned out to be so perfect. I'm repeating the same image tracing process that I did with the first photo. I'm using darken in my transparency this time instead. I'm just gonna mess around with the graphic and see what I can come up with relating to my mood board. I want to add a few flowers to this graphic, so I'm gonna go search on Unsplash again, typing in pink sunflower. I then realized that it might be pretty rare to find a pink sunflower, so I might as well just find a regular sunflower and edit the colors on Photoshop to make it look pink. So this one looks pretty cool. I open it on Photoshop and I go to Image, Adjustments, Invert. This will now flip the colors, giving it the ethereal look that I want. Then go to Image, Adjustments, Color Balance, and play with the color palette, modifying the color till you get a magical pink. Next, using the magic wand tool and the magnetic lasso tool, I'm gonna cut out just the flower's border. Once that is done, drag and drop it into Illustrator. Now I do feel the color needs a bit more adjustment, but did you guys know that you can edit colors on Illustrator as well? I am going to edit colors, adjust color balance. I'm playing with the colors here as well till the sunflower looks satisfactory. Next, I'm gonna draw a few elements, taking inspiration from my mood board, like geometric shapes, stars, the distressed texture, etc. And graphic number 2 is now complete at 11:32 AM. Now my third and last graphic unfortunately will not be seen fully as the t-shirt is cropped. So I'm not going to spend much time on its details. This is an awesome photo which I found, and I'm repeating similar steps to my first graphics on it. For this graphic, I am starting by drawing a line above in a curved fashion with my pen tool. Then, coming to my type on a path tool, I am writing out the words upward spiral. I'm centralizing it and changing the font to ancient medium, which has such a nice calligraphic gothic look to it. I'm also adding the crown that I drew before here. The graphic is now complete. Let's move it to the garment, and the third look is now ready. So 3 tops are now done and it is 11:42 a.m. So my deadline is for 12:30. In the next 45 minutes, I'm gonna try and create at least 2 more styles. I was thinking of skirts to match with the t-shirts. I'm starting by drawing the waistband. And to match with my safety pin t-shirt, I'm adding vertical slits and a safety pin detail. Then a lower panel, and with my pencil tool, I'm drawing 2 layers of sheer fabric ruffled at the hem. I'm adding the safety pins. And I'm adding details to my ruffles. And for the lower panel, I was thinking of adding an AOP, an all-over pattern. For this, on a new artboard, I'm gonna paste all of my artworks, rasterize them, and place them in a cool AOP format. Now draw a rectangle over the area that will be your swatch. Remove any fill or stroke from the square and move this square to the back. I'm also removing my black background as it was there just so I could see what my final pattern would look like. Next, drag and drop this pattern with the square behind it into your swatches panel. Now when you draw a shape, you can fill it with this swatch, creating an all-over pattern. So coming back to my skirt, I'm bringing my AOP to this artboard to fill that panel of my skirt with it. Now, instead of just filling my skirt with the AOP, an even better thing to do is to use the mesh tool to warp this AOP to perfectly fit the skirt panel. Let me show you how. First, place the AOP layer over the panel. Adjust the height and the width to how you want it. Then, rasterize it by going to Object, Rasterize. Make sure that these are the settings and press OK. Then go to Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Mesh. You will now get a panel asking you to choose how many rows and columns you want in your mesh. I'm gonna go with 1 row and 3 columns. Then go ahead and distort your AOP with the Direct Selection tool, making it as realistic and 3D looking as possible. When I'm done, I make a clip mask out of it and position it over my panel. Unfortunately, after all this at this point, I felt like the AOP was too loud. What do you guys think though? I decided to remove it eventually because it did not personally suit my taste. But I'm glad that I at least got to show you guys how to use the mesh tool. And with that, garment number 4 is ready at 12:04 p.m. For the second skirt, which will probably be my last design because I am too close to 12:30 now, I'm gonna draw a pleated skirt. Once again, starting with a thicker waistband this time, I'm drawing out the pleats. I'm then adding the lace trim that I created in part 1 to match the t-shirt. And I'm adding a big shiny buckled belt on the waistband. And a chain, of course. If you guys want to know how I created this chain, go over to part 1 of this video. It is 12:15 and I am done with the major part of my range. But I'm gonna use the last 15 minutes to close any missing details as much as I can. A super cool thing that you can do is render your garments with actual fabrics. I found a black acid wash fabric online and I'm using it to render 2 of my styles. And unfortunately, it is 12:30 p.m. already and I am sadly not quite finished. This is what it looks like, but if I were to break the rules of this challenge and be a rebellious woman myself and take a few more minutes to do step 4, the presentation, then this is what I would do. I would bring in more fabric swatches to render onto my 𝐜𝐴𝐺𝐵, like a cotton or a twill fabric for my skirts. I would add more shadows and add in any more remaining sketch details which I did not have time to complete. And finally, this is what is left. So what do you guys think? Do you think I did well for having 4 hours? How about the graphics? Did you like them? Let me know in the comments below and I will see you next week.